Hey, thanks for coming back for another lesson. Today we're going to pull together what we learned in intervals for guitar and basic chord theory, and we're going to learn how to take that interval pattern of the 1-4-5 and turn it into the 1-4-5 chords, which are the major chords in a key and the most common chords. This pattern, if I want to play in the key of G, would simply be, and I can move that pattern up and down the neck to change keys. So if I wanted to play an F, I would simply start with the one chord in F. If I want to play an A, I'd start with the one chord in A. It's a very useful and very flexible tool. All you got to do is learn to play a bar chord, learn to play a bar chord, and to be able to use the E form, movable E, and movable A chord form. And you can use this tool to play songs on your guitar. Stay with me. Okay, we're going to jump in for those of you who haven't joined me in the past, we covered some of this material. For those of you who have been with me in the previous lessons, I'm not going to repeat a lot of this in the interest of keeping these short. But just recall that this is a interval pattern that can be moved up and down the neck for playing the major scale. In this case, because I have my root note on the 3rd fret of the E string, this is the G major scale. The other thing that's important is to recall that by using that interval pattern, you can very quickly correlate the notes in the scale, the first note, second note, third note, first note, second note, third note, fourth note, fifth note. You can correlate those quickly to the chords that are going to be found in that key. And so the chords are usually designated with Roman numerals, but this would still be the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord if these were chords. Now I'm correlating them to the notes that are in the scale. But this pattern is you're going to see how this pattern becomes handy for us to think about a chord pattern as well. And the 1-4-5 is the most common. Those are the major chords in any key, and they're the most common chords that you find in songs. Real briefly, I'm just going to illustrate that this is the first position E major chord. You will note that I am illustrating it using the 2, 3, and 4 fingers and not using the index finger. That's because as you progress and you start to play bar chords, you will use your index finger as the bar finger, and you will use your other 3 fingers to play the chord form. So here we are with an E major in the first position. And we're jumping off there because what we're going to do is simply slide that form up, and we're going to bar at the 3rd fret. So in the first position, the bar is really what's called the nut of your guitar. It's where the strings terminate here. And the bar essentially terminates the strings at that point, at that fret. And so while this form played in the open position is an E, once you move it up, it goes from an E to an F to a G. So this is a G major chord using the E form barred at the 3rd fret. And in a similar way, you can use the A form and you can bar it at the 3rd fret, and it would be the C chord. Now, I'm not going to belabor this because this is a reminder for most of you, but we've previously learned that the relationship between the strings is the guitar is tuned in fourths. And we just saw the pattern that this was the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4. So we know that the 1-4 relationship is always like this. In the open position, that's also true, the 1 and the 4. And these 2 chords that we're playing are the E form and the A form. So by leaving the bar in the same position and changing the chord form from the E form to the A form, you've really gone from the 1 to the 4. And so that's exactly what happened. We went from a G when we were playing the E form to a C when we're playing the A form. That's the beginning of this useful pattern where you can play the 1, 4, 5. So how will we play the 5? We'll simply slide the bar up a whole step, 2 frets, and now we've got the 5. Let's put it all together. The 1, 4, 5 pattern. Very, very flexible, very useful. Lots and lots of songs use this pattern. And if you can play a bar chord, play this movable E form, movable A form, you can play the 1, 4, 5 anywhere up and down the fretboard. I'm also going to introduce another scale pattern. This is called the spread finger pattern because instead of having normal where you have one finger covering each fret, this is actually a pattern that spans 5 frets. And so this would be your index finger, this would be your pinky finger, and different players honestly use different fingers to play these, and I'm going to let you figure that out. But the beauty of this is in the pattern that we previously learned, the interval pattern, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. In this case, it's 1, 2, 3. So the B that was here is exactly the same note as this B, and the E that was here is exactly the same as this E. And the reason this pattern is kind of handy for some people, first of all, it all lines up. It's very easy to remember. There's only one note that isn't kind of in the perfect every other fret configuration, but it preserves the major scale form, and a lot of people actually prefer this. It's also a great way to understand how you can play the chord progression of all 7 notes in a key. We'll get to that, but first I want to talk about how important it is that you learn all of the fret positions of your low E string and all of the fret positions of your A string. And the reason I emphasize that you should start there, and frankly, just start with the E string, learn the E string. E string open is obviously E. First fret is F. Third fret is G. Fifth fret is A. 7th fret is B. 8th fret is C. 10th fret is D. 12th fret is E again. So, and then the incidentals are in between those, and so all of the natural notes are the thing to learn first. Learning that is really handy, and similar, once you've mastered that, move on to the A string, and those two are the most important. And if you're a bass player, boy, that's your foundation. That puts you in position anywhere up and down the neck quickly, because you know where to put a root in that interval pattern. So the other thing that's powerful is this 1, 4, 5 pattern that we've learned. Whenever we played the E form in the open position, it was the same as no bar, or the idea of the nut being the bar, if you would. As soon as you bar on the first fret, you've gone to where your index finger is in the F position. So this chord is an F. If I slide up to the 3rd fret and I bar at the 3rd fret, it's a G. If I bar at the 5th fret, it's an A. So you can see how playing the movable E form maps perfectly to learning the E string. And it's a very, very powerful thing for you to quickly learn your way around, learn how to play the 1, 4, 5 pattern by playing the open E, the barred 5th fret, the barred 7th fret, right? With the E form, that would be a 1, 4, 5. But another and easier way is to use this 1, 4, 5 pattern. You don't have to move as far up and down the neck. And you're going from 1 to 4 by changing from the E form to the A form. The last thing I'm going to point out here is that you can actually learn to play all 6 of the common chords in any key using the same concept of using the movable chord form variations. We've already talked about the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord. This is that same pattern we've been talking about. In this case, I'm playing the key of F, so I bar at the 1st fret. This is an F. Staying barred at the 1st fret. This is a B flat. And you might say this is A sharp, but A sharp and B flat are the same note. And because the key of F has 1 flat, this is called B flat. And then you slide up 2 notes from that, and you're at C. And so B flat, B, C. So that's the 1-4-5, same thing. But by changing from the major E chord form to the minor E chord form, you can play the 1 chord, the Roman numeral 1 chord, the major chord, slide up a whole step, and you're playing the minor 2 chord, slide up another whole step, you're playing the minor 3 chord at the 5th fret, barring at the 5th fret, slide back down to the 1st fret, switch to the A form, and you're playing your B flat, slide up a whole step, you're playing the C, and slide up another whole step, and you're playing your D minor. This is the A minor form, so that you're turning this major into this minor. I'm going to do one more session on chord variations and how to think about them, but just to give you a clue, remember it's a flatted 3rd. This happens to be the 3rd, so you flat it and it becomes a minor. So in summary, very powerful for you to learn this movable chord form that allows you to play the 1-4-5 pattern, and in fact allows you to play the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chords in any key by simply moving your root up or down the neck. Thanks for being with me. Leave me your comments. I really look forward to hearing from folks, and come back again and we'll continue the lessons. Thanks so much.